Well, hi guys. It's been a long time, almost a year, since the last time I really produced a video and posted it out on the YouTube channel. So it is actually June 3rd here in Malta, and I've been here just a little bit over 1 year. I moved here the third week of May of 2025. Um, I've been very happy. This has been a wonderful experience. I enjoy my apartment. It's a beautiful apartment. I enjoy the fact that I've met some wonderful friends, and that there are activities that I do all the time, and activities that I'm still doing all the time. So, in that aspect, nothing could be better than my stay here in Malta. My lease is up in the end of February, really the beginning of March. And don't know what I'll do at that point, whether I'll renew it or do something else. But as I say, I'm loving Malta. Yesterday, I purchased a drone, a second drone, one that has object avoidance, so I'm a little bit more comfortable thinking that I'll be using it outside. The streets here are very narrow, and without any type of avoidance systems, having my back to it and having it try to follow me just had me a little bit concerned about that model. But I got the updated model that does have sensors on it that will prevent it from running into a wall or a vehicle or a tree branch that's hanging down, things like that. So I'm going to give that a try a little bit later today. I'll take it outside and we'll give it a go for that. I'm thinking of anything else that's exciting. Never a dull moment here in Malta. I think I mentioned it, that the Maltese love their festies, or festivals as we would call them. Each of the major cities, or excuse me, each of the major villages, because there's only one city in all of Malta, and it's Valletta, the capital. Everything else is either towns or villages, and they all have patron saints, and they all celebrate their saints' day by having a couple day celebration. Some of them are wild and woolly, and some of them are a little bit more tamed and all that. But they're happening now. They go from March all the way through the end of September. There isn't probably a weekend that doesn't have at least one or two or three sometimes of the towns and villages having their celebration. They all usually use fireworks on it. And I think I made this comment a long time ago, that there are 32 fireworks factories that support a lot of the villages as far as getting the fireworks for the festies. As of yesterday, or excuse me, Monday, okay, today's Wednesday. As of Monday, there's one fewer. There's only 31 now. The one that's closest to where I live had a major explosion yesterday and basically decimated it. Luckily, it happened early in the morning before the workers got there. There'll be an investigation to try to figure out what created the explosion. The fire first, I think they've uncovered, and then it ultimately turning into the massive explosion, which really rocked this area. I live probably about less than a mile and a quarter from where that site was, or where that building was, and the complex. So when the major blast went off, really felt it here. Didn't break any windows or crack anything, but it was well felt. It happened, as I say, about 6:30 in the morning. I was already up, so I heard the first one, and I thought, some celebration festi is going on, they usually do fire off sort of mortar shells in the morning on festi days, and so I thought that's what it was. And then the second blast happened, and I'm thinking, well, yeah. And then that third one, definitely knew that that was not a normal situation, and went outside and I took some pictures from my balcony across the bay to the area, and there was like a mini mushroom cloud that was rising from that site area. So, and then started hearing the sirens of emergency vehicles going to it. So, one less, but there's still 31 more that can actually create fireworks for the rest of the festivals and things like that. Let's see what else. Yesterday, I also took the newly established fast ferry, which goes from St. Paul's Bay or Bujiba Square area, wharf area, and goes all the way up to Slima. Normally by bus it takes about an hour. By fast ferry you can get all the way into the ferry area, which serves a couple of cities in less than 30 minutes, or about 30 minutes. So it's a great way. Again, like all the other transportation here, I just have to show my card, and I get on for free. Again, great transportation. Still don't need a car here, and as I say, that's pretty cool. The ferry is going to run from March to October, and then it will be closed for the summer. Closed for the winter, and then reopen again the following spring time. The seas get a little bit rough in the winter months, so probably that's why they're not running it, or they don't think there's going to be enough people that would keep it going, that would allow it to support itself. But again, just the hour bus then ride up there. The ferry also, once it gets to here, it goes from Salima to Bujiba, and then from Bujiba it goes on to Gozo. And takes about another 30 minutes from Bujiba to Gozo. And so that's another way to get to Gozo. And then when it comes back, it does the opposite. It comes from Gozo back to Bujiba, and then from here, back up to Salima. So it's pretty cool. As I say, great catamaran type ferry, pretty large inside. I was surprised how many people that it really carries and all that sort of stuff. And as I say, the price is great because it's zero. The other thing they did is they put in a little small electric bus that goes around this area and takes you down to the wharf. So again, it runs enough time to be able to catch that ferry when it comes. And it runs about I'd say every hour, but it doesn't. It goes an hour, and then it goes an hour and a half, and then it goes an hour, and then it goes an hour and a half. So it's sort of a bizarre, sort of schedule. But as I say, once you have it, and it's in your phone, then you can look it up and say, okay, I need to be at the ferry dock area at such and such time, and it's pretty cool like that. What else can I talk about? Came back from my first European short vacation trip. I went to a concert in Antwerp, Belgium. I flew into Brussels and spent the night in Brussels, and then caught a train from Brussels to Antwerp, and then checked into a hotel up there. Went to the concert that night, and then stayed up there, and then took the train back from Antwerp back to Brussels, and caught a flight later in the afternoon back to here in Malta, Luau, which is the airport area. We only have one airport in all of Malta. So it was pretty cool. Wonderful concert. My favorite group. That's why I decided they were on a European tour, and had gone to Germany and Austria and France, and then they were in their Scandinavian portion. That's where I caught them up in Belgium as they were there, and then they went up to, I think, the Netherlands, and from the Netherlands up to I think Sweden and Norway. as I say, the most fantastic concert. I got paid extra to have first row seats. I had one seat off of dead center in the first row. And as I say, my favorite group, and the music was wonderful. And if you ever have a chance, especially at the holiday time, they love to produce Christmas music. I highly recommend listening to Pentatonics. That's the name of the group, the Pentatonics. I'm a Pentaholic, which is a super big fan of a group of them. And as I say, it was a fantastic concert, and I really enjoyed myself at the concert, but I also enjoyed my 2 days of seeing Brussels and Antwerp. Great little cities, and great food. I got to try Belgian fries, and if everybody looks in the history, French fries only got the name French fries because they stole it from Belgium. But Belgian fries are fantastic. I had some Belgian waffles. They have 2 different types of waffles, and I had both of them when I was up there. And I look forward to again doing that. Coming up next month, this is as I say, the beginning of June, but at the end of July, I have another vacation coming up, or a mini holiday, as they would call it here in Europe. I'm going to spend a week in Norway with a friend that I have from the States. She's flying in to Oslo, and so am I from here. And then we spend a week traveling Norway and seeing all the wonderful things there, including the fjords and things like that. I have a cruise portion of that vacation. And then after that week, she flies back to the States, and I will fly from there. Rather than coming back to Malta directly, I will be going to Denmark and spending a week more touring Denmark, with the end of the week in the home of Lego. Going to the Lego house, or the Lego house, Lego Land, the big Lego Land that's there. Staying at a Lego property hotel, and just having a fun time with Legos. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Probably later, I haven't done any more at this point, but I will plan a trip to go to Sweden and Finland. Want to see those areas, and possibly get some of the Baltic countries in before the end of the year, or end of the summer, I guess, while it's still nice up there. I'd like to go see Estonia, Latvia, and forget what the third one is. Slovakia? No, don't know. But all 3 of the Baltic countries up there. So that's up on the agenda. I've been looking at taking a cruise at Christmas time to visit the Christmas fairs along the Danube River. So we'll see if I pull that one off and see how that goes. But as I say, having a great time here in Europe, and what else can I say? Enjoying the fact I'm in Malta, and all the things that Malta brings to the table. I did find a truly fantastic hamburger place here. Serves mouth-watering, as I can best describe it, because European foods are a little bit different than American foods, but this one is so greatly American in its taste, and including its what we would call fries. They call chips here, and it's called Smash Burger by called the Hungry Horse. So I know a horse was in it, but it's the Hungry Horse. So it's in St. Gillian's. Make a smash burger where it's really thin, crusty, perfectly tasting bun and everything around it. So, okay, I'm going to let you go. As I say, going to do some flying and do some videos that I will add either as a separate one or to this. So that's what I want to say. Okay, you take care, guys, and talk to you in my next video.